All right, Melchizedek Todd here, Weapon Press. Um, Seeing a little ad for the Patreon just started. Um, but mainly, I'm talking about what is the upcoming comic Man of War about. I don't think I've shared that much about it. I know when I do a press release, I want to put down witches, Illuminati, cursing Christians, and more. Oh my, the whole whether like the bears, lion, I don't know, circus thing. Oh my thing, I could be wrong. Tiger, bears, lions, I don't know. Anyways, because that's what's in the comic. I mean, that's what's in the graphic novel. Man of War is really it's accumulation, I should say, of a number of things that have happened with me in the last few years, as well as a number of things that happened in my entire life, as well as other things. And this I'm talking about supernatural things and strange things that have happened, like I said, in my life and other people that I know have known, dealing with the supernatural and um, spiritual world, so forth. And so, in some ways, it's kind of, I don't know if say it's a testimony in some ways, but it's definitely a way for me to share in a creative way some things that have happened in my life. Some things that I felt like that needs to be said. That's happening in the Christian church to Christians. We're under attack. We're just not under. I mean, it's like we definitely see it in society. The pushing of the gay agenda, of the trans, the pedophile, all that's being pushed. Just the persecution of Christians, in China, which is, I mean, we Americans, we don't even know what persecution really is yet. But one focus is to realize that, we're just not being attacked by demons. So those of you who've dealt with spiritual warfare and so forth, I mean, that's something I've been dealing with since I was a kid. But Satan also has human agents, witches, warlocks, the Illuminati, Freemasons, so forth. They're around too. And that's something which Man of War I kind of address a little bit in some ways in Man of War. Um, Simply because some things I've been experiencing of late, and I realize now, looking back, and some things that God has revealed to me, I've been experiencing probably since I was a kid, dealing with some of the human agents of Satan. I mean, it's kind of logical because if God has his human agents and Satan, he's a copycat, he's gonna have his because they believe, if you believe it or not, God, he works through people. How God does things. He works through people, and Satan, he's even less powerful than God. You know, uh, and so Satan, he works through people too. And we know, there's people out there who just completely, there's some people who are just ignorant and the wrong things they're doing, and there's some people they're just completely sold out. There's societies out there, Luciferians and so forth, whatever you want to call them, Illuminati, whatever you want to call them, cabals, whatever. They're out there and they serve Satan. I mean, sometimes I'm thinking, I don't know how they could, but Satan is the father of lies. And, he promises and he delivers these people money and power and so forth. And they're just living it up, but they're living for the now, not for the future. They don't realize what's going to happen when they die. Or they realize it and they don't care. Or like I said, they're so blinded by, these gifts of Satan that they just, they're walking off a cliff and not even realizing it. And so in Man of War, in this graphic novel, it's like 95 pages plus. Um, I deal with a number of issues in a very, like I said, it's in a very creative way. I deal, I kind of, like I said, I talk about a number of things. There's a lot in there. In some ways, I do want to say I do illustrate as well as write and code. for people who have dealt with spiritual things, not just Christians, but even non-believers who are experiencing a lot of demonic stuff and don't know where to go. They're dealing with a lot of supernatural stuff. And, sadly, the church, the churches are getting better, but a lot of churches are not still talking about or even believe in the supernatural, you know. Um, but, I try to share certain things or put certain things in my works of late, for people to, experience stuff, to be able to come and reach out to me, or to others that hopefully they can maybe meet, that can help lead them, to Christ and understand some of the strange supernatural things they're dealing with, some of the demonic stuff they're dealing with, instead of going to like New Age stuff and other more satanic stuff. That's not good. And like I said, Man of War, it's like I said, maybe it's somewhat of a testimony of my life done in a creative way. Got some interesting characters in there. And so I don't know. I don't want to spoil the book, so I'm just saying that witches, warlocks, Illuminati. Like I said, cursing Christians because we're Christians and we're not perfect. I think that sometimes the problem with I think that's sometimes a problem with a lot of, and I don't want to criticize the Christian media, movies, and so forth, because people really do what they, feel called to do a lot of times, but, some things are just white bread. And a lot of times, I mean, secular media, the way they, like on some shows, the way they portray pastors and so forth, they're always freaking weak, or they're weak or dumb or undecided. They're not strong. And, they're secular people, so what you expect? And so forth. Or they're confused, or mainly, secular people who try to write about the Bible or write Christian characters, they don't know the Bible. They're not believers, so they're going to get it wrong. They get scriptures wrong. But sadly, they're also Christians, they love God and so forth. The real Christians going to heaven and so forth, but they're getting the Bible wrong too. Also, or they want to portray Christians as, always there's these like we're always floating on air, like we're, like we're perfect, like we don't make, normal major mistakes, like we don't curse, like we don't get mad, really mad, not just, like, oh, I feel hurt by what you've done. No, rage mad, which we know what that is, which we might see it on secular shows, but, some of us believers, I'm one of them, like when I get angry, I can get angry. God working on me with it, but it's just the truth. And so with this, and with one of the main characters, Sebastian, the main character, he's a prophet, and he has anger issues. He's gotten better at it, but you do see what kind of happens to him because of his anger in his life and relationships. And so, so check it out. I mean, I'll give another update. You have any questions, you can always go to weaponpress.com and contact me there. There's a contact link button. Also, if you want to support Weapon Press, you can go to, which you can already see, patreon.com/Weapon Press. So thanks very much for listening.